Francisco. Hello, everyone. I'm Wendy Takuda filling in for Pete.
And I'm Tom Sinkovitz. Suzanne is also off tonight. Well, we're filling in for both of them, aren't we, Wendy? Yes. Nobody really does know what to expect tonight as the monthly ride begins, but it's clear what most people don't want, a repeat of last month's arrests and mayhem. Our team coverage begins with News Center 4's Greg Lyon, who was live at the traditional starting point for Critical Mass. That would be Justin Herman Plaza. Greg.
And Tom, there are thousands of people here. I can't give you an accurate crowd count, but there are thousands. Police have just made an announcement they will not be accompanying the ride, and all riders will be expected to obey traffic laws. That announcement met with a lot of shouting and cheering. But the ride is about ready to begin. It's gotten tremendous coverage, as you know, Tom, and that's an amazing transformation, a transformation that has been building over a period of some time now. For nearly 4 years, this was Critical Mass, a fairly well-organized, police-chaperoned monthly gathering that angered some motorists, rang up about $7,000 a month in police overtime, but caused no significant problems. It was both a social event and a call for better bicycling conditions in San Francisco. The change seemed to come July 1st after San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown threw down the gauntlet.
I don't know how this city ever got to the point where they tolerate bicyclists breaking all the laws in the world as it relates to use of public streets.
The mayor announced the bicyclists would have to get a permit, but instead of a permit, on July 25th, there was anarchy on the Critical Mass ride. Over 100 people were arrested. Since then, police and bicyclists have engaged in uneasy dialogue. Police announced this week they will no longer chaperone the ride, that bicyclists will have to ride in small groups, obeying all traffic laws. Adding to the tension, flowers now mark the spot on Market Street where one of 2 cyclists died this week in unrelated accidents. Police say the cyclists were probably at fault in both. Nobody really knows what will happen on tonight's ride, but both sides seemed anxious today to keep it peaceful.
I think a lot of issues have been put on the table in the last couple of months, and there's a lot of valid ones. And I personally feel that the city can do more and they can do better. And that's one of my real concerns is that if we have a repeat of July 25, I think the bicycle community as a whole is going to stand to lose a lot of public support.
What happened last time, the chaos that happened, surprised everybody and nobody wanted it. The Friday night ride has been peaceful 58 months in a row. The cyclists want that as much as anybody. So I hope we will never see something like that again.
In just the last 2 minutes here, it looks like the ride has begun to move out. Some people have moved out there behind me, as you can see. Somewhere in that crowd is my colleague Anthony Moore, who has a report for us now. Anthony?
Well, Greg, I'm standing with the first set of riders, and I'm actually at a stoplight where a number of riders have chosen to stop. Others have taken a right turn, but so far no one's gone through the stoplight. It's at Mission and Stewart Street. The riders, at least in this first group, and what appear to be the majority of riders, did not go down Market Street. They instead chose to head south on Stewart and now took a right on Mission, and perhaps you can see the riders as they head along now. A lot of defiance in the voices as the police department stepped up and asked people to abide by the laws, but it's kind of the kind of defiance that you expect in a party atmosphere, which is the feeling I get right now. Not belligerent, but more one of excitement and enthusiasm. So I will be riding this ride as we continue through the show, and I'll let you know how things go. The police made it very clear that they're not going to facilitate the ride. On the other hand, with so many riders here, it's also clear that the ride will not be at just the right-hand side of the road. It's going to take off, and it's going to be taking entire lanes of traffic. We're now heading west on Mission Street. I'll have more later.
All right, that's Anthony Moore down in there in that mass of humanity right now. Clearly, police wanted these groups to break off into smaller groups this time for this ride, so they obey the traffic signals. Whether that happens is something we're going to have to watch and see.
James Hattori standing by at First and Harrison Street right now, where there were such problems last time. James, what's going on there now? Looks pretty quiet.
Well, Wendy, I don't know whether it's Labor Day or perhaps because of the advance notice of Critical Mass, but right now the evening commute is pretty much over, it seems. Everybody has gotten onto the Bay Bridge. Nonetheless, the California Highway Patrol has taken up positions within the past 15-20 minutes here at this ramp, as well as at 4 other locations on 8th Street, 5th Street, Sterling, Beale, and here at First and Harrison. Those on-ramps onto the Bay Bridge They're keeping the day shift workers late. They've put on 2 extra squads of 20 officers just in case. Now, last month, this was a point of friction because some cyclists did attempt to storm onto the on-ramp here to make a political statement because cycles are, after all, banned from the Bay Bridge. The CHP managed to thwart them all from getting aboard. They say it's very much an issue of safety. There are no bike lanes on this bridge, and traffic would be very troublesome if they were to get on there. This bridge carries 250,000 cars a day. Of course, the bikers are attempting to lobby to add bike lanes here on the Bay Bridge, but some would say that they're causing problems by causing a stir among the traffic here, political problems. Take a look over here now. You can see the CHP has taken up positions right along the on-ramp. And while right now the traffic is moving smoothly and there's no sign of any bikers, they are prepared, obviously, in a moment's notice to step in and take care of anything that happens. Wendy?
Okay, James, thank you very much. Once again, things looking much quieter today than the mess that we had last month, all of the arrests and all of the mayhem that we had, and everyone wanted to avoid today, and it looks like that is happening. Now, word was that people who wanted to avoid the mass confusion or possible mass confusion today, primarily families and kids, would start their own ride from Dolores Park in the Mission, and that's where Claudia Cowan is right now, and she joins us live. Claudia?
Hi, Wendy and Tom. This is the starting point for an alternative critical mass ride that is being called Family Mass here this Friday night. And as you can see, a number of adults and their kids have arrived here at Dolores Park, getting ready to head on out on a bike ride that will take them through Golden Gate Park, down Ocean Beach, and then round trip back here to Dolores Park. And among those who chose to go on this Family Mass ride is John Swanda of San Francisco. Why here and not just in Herman Plaza?
Well, I didn't want to get caught in a mess like the last time around and deal with the police and a large group. I think this idea of mini masses with smaller groups in different directions is kind of the way to go with critical mass now.
And you'll be just joining everybody on a bike ride home.
Right. I live out by Ocean Beach, so I'll just be on my regular ride home.
All right, John, have a safe ride. I'll let you go because, as you can see, everyone is starting to take off here. And again, this is not a one-way ride, but rather a round trip. And everybody is expected to be back here at Dolores Park at about 8 o'clock tonight. That is the latest for now. Wendy, back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Claudia.
Well, there's one other major question, and that is how much is the management of critical mass going to cost, regardless of what happens tonight? For that part of the story, we catch up with the Chronicle's Phil Mateer, who is live at Justin Herman Plaza. Phil.
Yeah, hi, Tom. You know, last month at this event, we spent about $22,000 in police overtime and other costs related with trying to keep order going on in the streets of San Francisco. This month, Police Chief Fred Lau said that that cost could double depending on what happens. And let's take a look at some numbers and try to figure out why. Excuse me.
I appreciate you wouldn't touch me. Okay, let's get over there.
Basically, what we've got is about what we've got here is someone who's trying to block our shot and not let us talk, infringe on our rights as free speech. Excuse me, could you just move a little bit? Thank you. Basically, we have about 320 cops on call this afternoon to try and control. You're making a real good point for the bikes. You know that? You're making a real good point for the bikes. You know, you don't. You know, why don't you get one and ride? About 320 cops are plus 50 California Highway Patrol officers, plus sheriff's departments that have to maybe book and bus people. That comes, half of these people are going to be on overtime. That runs at about $7,800 an hour. It's all part of just trying to keep some kind of order here. Guys, back to you.
All right, and Phil, thank you for that good job under what I know are very difficult circumstances sometimes. If you are out on the road and you see a trouble spot or you have interesting information about tonight's ride, please give us a call at area code 415-561-8907. That's 415-561-8907.
And also out looking for trouble spots, Traffic Watch 4's Stephanie Kirby. Steph, how's it going out there?
Hi, Wendy. Good afternoon, everyone. I think it's actually lessening just a little bit. I have a map I want to show you just to sort of sum up about this ride. The top right of your screen is Justin Herman Plaza, where most of the bikers will begin. The left side of your screen is Ocean Beach at the foot of Golden Gate Park. And in a variety of ways, they'll all be making their way down there. The good news is that near the Bay Bridge, the city streets are clearing out, so as the bikers go through, the congestion may not be quite as bad bad as anticipated. Let's take a look now here from the left side of your screen. That's eastbound 80. James said the commute looked like it was virtually over, but there still are a lot of people on the highway from about 3rd Street, actually, out to the lower deck of the Bay Bridge. And if you're commuting in Marin County, you see it's beginning to clear out here across the Richardson Bay Bridge, but expect slow traffic at least up until Central San Rafael and a little farther north as well. We'll keep our eyes on it, though. Back to you guys.
All right.
Okay, Steph.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. And go ahead, Wendy.
We're getting word actually right now that the bikers are proceeding up Market Avenue, and they are stopping at the traffic lights. So there's definitely some order there on Market Street. You're looking at the live pictures, that huge mass of bikers making their way. I can't tell the exact location of this, Tom. Can you? Is that Market Street we're looking at right now?
I believe we're looking right at Justin Herman Plaza right now, and clearly some of them are going up what is Stewart Street, and others are going down Market Street. But first indications are that they are stopping at red lights, as they have been warned to do by the San Francisco Police Department. But we will keep you up to date, and we'll be following the riders to the extent that we can, because clearly they're going in very different directions.
It looks like a pretty big group right now, too, from